$1 million in retirement savings versus $1 million in net worth. Which one's better to have when you retire? Leave me a comment, guys. What was your retirement savings when you retired, and what was your net worth, if you feel comfortable doing that? Curious to know. First of all, the whole premise for my channel is you don't need $1 million to retire. It's always been it. I retired on half that. People retire on less than that. You don't need $1 million to retire. But what is better? Which one would be better in net worth versus retirement savings? So first of all, when people talk about, oh, you need $1 million to retire, they are referring to retirement savings, what you have in your retirement accounts, okay? Only 3% of people retire with $1 million in their retirement savings. Now, there's also $1 million total savings. And again, the reason I'm using $1 million, easy round number to compare, okay? Total savings of $1 million, 10%, only 10% of people have that when they retire. What is total savings? It's everything in your retirement accounts plus what you have in brokerage accounts, just savings in general, okay? Then there is net worth. Net worth is all of your assets minus all of your liabilities, okay? So assets, that includes everything. The main component in a lot of people's net worth is how much equity do they have in their house. That's a huge, dare I say huge, component of net worth, okay? So when we get down to net worth, what do you think? When people retire, do they have more net worth than retirement savings? Let's get to the numbers. But first of all, my name is Duane. This is a channel for retiring on moderate income. If you think you might like that, think about subscribing and like the video as well. And if you really like it, down here, you can buy me a cup of coffee. That'd be nice, man. I'd like to have a nice iced coffee right now, right above downtown LA, as you can see in the background. Unfortunately, I don't. So I have a little early morning dry mouth. So net worth. When people are between 55 and 64, the median net worth, median is the number right in the middle. I'll also give you the average, and the average can kind of skew this number up because a lot of people have very high net worth. So average, I think it's better to look at median here. So median net worth for people between 55 and 64 years old is $213,000. The average net worth is $1.175 million. Okay, that's between 55 and 64. Between 65 and 74, the median, again, the number right smack dab, love that phrase, smack dab, in the middle is $266,000. The average is $1.218 million in net worth. And again, for most people, I would say net worth, the biggest part of their assets is their equity they have in the home, okay? Of course, there's other things you take into that. Everything that is an asset and everything that is a liability. Take assets minus liabilities, that's your net worth. Ages 75 plus. Now, what do you think? You think net worth is going up or going down? Median net worth, $255,000. The average, $978,000. Okay? So, the main thing you have to think about when you're thinking about net worth and retirement, how much of that net worth is liquid? It's a big term when you get to net worth, liquidity. How much of that net worth can be accessed as cash if you need it? Okay, that's why a lot of people that have a very high net worth, they might be struggling to get by because most of their net worth is tied up in assets that are not easily made liquid into cash. As far as housing goes, you can access your equity in your housing Might take a little bit of while to get to it. But the biggest thing when it comes to retirement is when you're talking about net worth, how much of that net worth are you planning on spending in retirement? Okay. Now, if you have a house, you have a lot of equity in that house, are you planning on using that equity towards your retirement? A lot of people don't. They're in a house they might have paid off. A lot of people obviously do have their houses paid off in retirement, right? That whole housing equation, it's not even going to come into it in retirement outside of maybe emergencies where you can tap into like an equity, the equity of your house. A lot of people, they're not moving. They're not going anywhere. So in their case, net worth doesn't really apply. Okay? It can, but as far as when you retire, a lot of cases it doesn't. Another case, they might decide, okay, 5 years into retirement, I'm going to sell my house. I'm going to take all the equity that was in that and I'm going to downsize to a different location, a smaller house with smaller utility bills, smaller property tax. If that is what you plan on doing in retirement, accessing the equity in your house for your retirement, hey man, having more than $1 million in net worth, that's a big deal. That's a big deal. That will go into your overall calculation of what you have going into retirement. Another case, people might not even know when they retire if they are going to use the equity in their house. Okay? Also, other assets in net worth. It could be long-term investments. People may access those long-term investments for their retirement. It makes a difference. It makes a big difference whether or not you can consider net worth in your overall retirement calculation. And as I said just a couple of minutes ago, a lot of people out there have a very high net worth. They're struggling to get by because they can't or they won't access those assets that are not liquid. Liquidity is a huge deal in this. So when it comes down to it, guys, what is better when you retire? Is it net worth or is it the amount you have in your retirement accounts? It's a case-by-case basis. It really is. What are your plans in retirement? Retirement savings. Again, that's just what you have in your retirement account. Only 3% of people retire with $1 million in retirement savings. Only 10% of people retire with $1 million in their overall savings. So that's retirement accounts plus what you have in your savings. Everything in there that can be accessed that is not exclusively for retirement is included in total savings. So it's up to you guys. That's what it comes down to. Do you plan on using most of the stuff in your net worth in retirement? If so, that's a good number to go by. If not, you go by overall savings or just retirement savings. And again, you do not need $1 million to retire. That is, and I'm being very, very dexterous here. Is that a word, dexterous? Switching hands. It's totally up to you guys. It's totally up to you whether you can consider net worth as being better than retirement savings. What are your plans for retirement? And again, why do I always say and again in videos? I don't know. It's a catchphrase, I guess. I'm just wacky like that. You don't need $1 million to retire. You don't. A lot of people say you do. A lot of financial advisors say you do. You know why? Because they want your money. The vast, vast majority of people that retire with less, a lot less than $1 million in retirement savings or just in savings in general or net worth. You don't need it. It sure helps. But if you're like I am on moderate income retirement, I retired with about $550,000. That's it. I'm making it work. And I'm here to tell you guys, that's what this whole channel is about. You can make it work as well. Just be diligent. It's all about expenses. If you can keep your expenses low, and look at my turkey neck. At certain angles, depending on the light, I've got the old man turkey neck going again today. Please ignore it. Gobble, gobble. It all comes down to your expenses. You can do it, guys. People get by on what they have in retirement. You do not need $1 million. Net worth, total savings, retirement savings. Doesn't matter. You can do it. And as always, from above, beautiful downtown LA in the background. We got this.